Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Ah, there she is. There's my
Hey,
June
guys.
Cleaver. There's my June.
Here I am, Ward. Are you keeping things in check over there?
You're just checking up on us, basically, is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I just got to see what you guys are up to, make sure that there's no shenanigans.
No, hey, you got a cold? Do you have a cold?
I have a gnarly cold.
Bless your heart.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I don't know what happened. It's like I shot with you guys and then I got sick. So, I mean, somehow it's got to be your fault.
Probably.
I'm just going to say this. You and Adam were, Ward and June. So, you obviously caught the cold.
So you're saying it's my fault?
Pretty much.
So it's more his fault.
I'm throwing the heat to him.
I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat. Sorry,
yeah.
sorry,
June. Someone has to.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that I have like a grovelly voice and people are into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? You kind of sound like Bruiser or Crusher. Do you remember the 1960s Milwaukee wrestlers? Yeah. You don't. But.
So
I'll take it. I'm going to ride it out. Listen, it's better than being high pitched.
Right.
I do.
Right? Yeah, Jay's stuck with that all the time.
What are you talking about? Who,
me?
Yeah. So we've obviously been friends for a little while, and obviously we have the Canadian connection with you. And we had Paige on last week, and she was singing your praises, and was really lobbying to have you guys both on the ENC pod to become full-time personalities with us. And
I think it would be remiss to not at least check it out.
Right.
I feel like we would make a great quad pod.
The quad pod.
Ooh,
The quad pod.
The quad pod.
Oh, man.
I just
You
came
got
up
big
with that right now, you guys.
Yeah.
'Cause I was going to say foursome, and then I knew that was going to go the wrong way, and quad pod was the right answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
you went the right way, and she came up with a great acronym. It's the Pecker Prod. Pecker.
Pecker podcast. And then you came on. We were in New Jersey for the pay-per-view, and then went to the TVs to shoot some content for the Edge and Christian Show season 2. And you came on and killed it, and were super funny and hilarious and awesome.
I'm finally shoot with you guys.
And then
I'm so glad.
That was the deal sealer right there. We're like, we have to have her on this week. So that's and you were nice enough to find nothing better to do than to talk to us.
Listen, you want to know what I was doing before I hopped on here? I was examining my dog's teeth and watching a Hallmark movie. So,
Really?
Listen, I'm a busy woman. I'm very important, but I made the time.
Hey, people don't understand the importance of a dog's oral care, so I very much appreciate that.
I know. It's like dog DDS over here.
And let's not discount the importance of a good Hallmark movie.
Touche.
So I'm obsessed with Hallmark movies, and I realized that you can get the app and watch them on your Fire Stick.
Come on.
So that's what I'm doing right now. And it's a sick day. I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather. I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself. So I'm going to watch a movie.
And here's the thing. I'm a secret Hallmark movie lover, and I watch them quite a bit. How about if you and I starred in a Hallmark movie? How about that? How crazy would that be?
I would love nothing more. So I've been making a push to try to do a Hallmark movie. I've not gotten any positive feedback from them yet. But I feel like if I'm persistent enough, and then if I tag you onto it, I feel like they would be missing out if they didn't do it.
What if we just do our own audition and send it in to them?
That's actually great. Yes, we'll just give them the material. We'll shoot it all on green screen, and then they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
I say fuck Hallmark. Let's put it on the WWE Network.
Yeah. Ooh.
Now we're talking, because you know what? With the WWE Network, you can say things like "fuck it." You guys got away with a ton.
Exactly.
It's amazing. I mean, not all the time, but you can get away with a couple curse words on there.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've gotten away with some of the stuff we've done. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think what it means is that nobody's watching.
I never really know how that works, because when I was doing Unfiltered, I would swear on there all the time, and then they would just bleep it out, or we'd have a beer and they would shoot it. I'm like, okay, if no one's going to tell me not to do this, I guess I'm just going to kind of run with it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really know how that works. I guess just because it's not on it's not on USA Network or anything. We have a little more freedom. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Well, when you were younger, you did a little bit of acting, right? When
I did. Yeah. When I first got out of like high school, that's what I went and did. I went to Second City right away.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to forego any other post-secondary education, and went. Yeah, I was like, Mom, can I just have $250 for this 8-week intensive course at Second City? And she was not stoked about it, but she did give me the $250. Yeah, and then I took acting classes after that for quite a while. I was like really into the whole art of acting for quite a while, and then I mostly got into hosting out of boredom of waiting for like cool auditions to come around. Just like it was like shitty commercial auditions for like lip balm or like tampons. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing that I thought was gonna like make or break my career. So I was like, how can I do something else? And then actually I heard Chelsea Handler for the first time, and I was like, ooh, I want to do a show like that, and then started kind of hosting some of my own shows.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I did not know any of that. See, this is good. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. Yeah. There's more to Renee Young.
Yeah.
I assumed there was. I just didn't know.
Yeah. Huh. How did the thing with the score happen in Canada?
So I got in with the score.
We should probably preface for the rest of the world that doesn't know what the score is.
Yeah, it's a Canadian sports network, much like ESPN or Fox Sports 1 type thing. All sports.
Yeah.
Network. So.
So I worked there. So when I was doing this show for this other network, Bite TV, which was just this like small cable thing where I could really kind of cut my teeth and figure out how to host a show or what I was doing in general. And then it seemed that there was really only 2 options to get on a national show for me because I really wanted to do more comedy or just like more fun. I'm not like a real journalist, you guys. So
neither are we.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if I can at the score, they were doing more like comedic stuff. Like they had like Cabby on the Street and Jerry D, who's a comedian. So they would like go out and interview athletes and it was all tongue in cheek. So I was like, I could maybe do that. Or my other option was Much Music. So I was like kind of back and forth on both of those. And I was like literally knocking on the door at the score, but I didn't know where the actual entrance was. So I was actually just like knocking on like the studio door outside it at like Front and Blue Jay Way.
Yeah.
Just with like my demo reel and like my headshot. But yeah, I was just super persistent with them, kept calling them, kept checking in with them. And they're like, oh my God, just hire this girl or, shut her up. So yeah, they ended up hiring me. It was right before they started doing Drafted, which was a reality show that they were doing there, looking for the next Canadian sportscaster. So they brought me in before that, and it all kind of spiraled from there. That I was doing a bunch of different interviews and going down doing stuff with the Raptors and with the Leafs and stuff on this like man on the street kind of stuff. And then they asked me if I wanted to do a wrestling show. So I was like, okay. And then I had to do like a bunch of research and figure everything out because we all know that wrestling fans can be somewhat fickle-minded. You cannot step on their toes in any manner. So I had to do a bunch of research and make sure I knew exactly what I was talking about. And and then a few years later, I moved to WWE. It's very odd.
So you weren't a wrestling fan before that then?
So I was like when I was younger, like when I was a kid, but I had fallen out from watching it. I mean, I played a bunch of sports and stuff growing up, and I was always like a busy kid doing stuff. So I did fall out from watching it. But yeah, once I kind of resubmerged myself back in it and like seeing who all was still around, what was going on, what the storylines were and everything. And yeah, I mean, God, that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
From when I was doing that show. So yeah, I mean, I knew enough about it, but not like, I was definitely not I didn't know everything about it. I wasn't like the voice of wrestling by any stretch at that point. So yeah, I had to figure some stuff out.
Well, yeah, I think that's the story of 90% of the people who watched when they were younger, and then life happens, college happens, and in school, and boyfriends and girlfriends, and it's life, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, your tastes change, and like whether you're going to concerts or you're doing your own thing, or like I was playing a ton of sports and doing all these other classes and whatnot. So yeah, it was cool I was like the challenge too of like. I always kind of took that challenge like as like a performer myself of like, okay, if you want to go like host an HGTV show, that I would have to know like every kind of wood or what these finishes are of just like, that's like your job as like a host is to like know everything that you're talking about. So I like that challenge of making sure that I knew exactly what I was talking about and forming your own opinions and just like getting a whole new appreciation for wrestling too, which grew so much more obviously when I actually started working for WWE and seeing the way the beast of WWE works. It's so impressive.
Yeah, it really is like a multi-headed behemoth, isn't it? It's just
it's crazy.
Yeah, and everything that factors into it, and then as the fans have become more educated as to how the business itself works, and the backstage inner workings, and it's there's so much that goes into it. So you really, as a host of something, there is a lot more to know now, but there's also a lot more vehicles to find those things out. So good that you did your homework, because as you said, wrestling fans, they can be an unforgiving lot when it comes.
Oh my God. Can they ever?
Yeah. I mean, they can jump all over you. But you, however, you are like a darling of the wrestling world.
Yeah.
You're a well-loved commodity.
Which I'll listen. I will ride that out. I will take that to the grave with me. I think it's like I love that I've been embraced by WWE so much. Because, I mean, it definitely does not always happen that way. And I'm not sure exactly what it was that made, like, WWE fans sort of welcome me into their world.
I can tell you.
But, I mean, I think it is, like, what's that?
I know what it is.
Oh, what is it?
Well, you are the cool girl who, you're a pretty woman, and they can have a beer with you and watch wrestling, and that is every wrestling fan's dream.
That's so nice. Thank you.
That's what it is. It's like, oh, I could hang out and talk about wrestling with her and have a beer, and we could talk about the merits of Dolph Ziggler's bumping.
Which, like, what's funny is I always so that was something that I feel like, and I did not do that by design by any stretch. I think that's just like the person that I am, is I'm like super casual, pretty easy to like talk to and hang out with, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I would always find when I would like watch people on TV of like people, you want to watch someone on TV that you want to hang out with, right?
Right.
Like it just needs to be someone like casual. Yeah, you want to like welcome them into your house and have a beer and hang out and shoot the shit and like just keep it casual like that. But I think it's also like, I think people understand like my appreciation for wrestling as well, and know that I'm not like a fraud of a person of just trying to like have like this imposter syndrome,
So did you have any reservations about like when WWE approached you to come work for the company? You were starting you were starting to get a pretty big name in Canada as far as being on Sportsnet and being a personality and an up and coming personality there, and obviously your career would have taken off and been probably very huge in the country of Canada. But was there any reservations like, man, I'm really like kind of giving up an opportunity here for this, or how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly had some reservations in the sense that, like, so I was winding down at the score no matter what. So I was looking for my next step, and I knew that my next step that I wanted it to be in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And I did at that time have a couple different offers on the table, or like a lot of different career path opportunities. Like I went down to LA for a week to just like get a new agent and test some stuff out. And like within that week, I had like booked a Cartoon Network job, and I booked a job with the Big Ten Network. But they were both jobs that I couldn't take because I was still in Canada. I didn't have a visa. I didn't have a green card. And that kind of threw those things for a loop, which, everything kind of works out the way it's supposed to. But the week of my audition at WWE, I think it was like later in the week, or maybe it was like a Monday to a Monday kind of situation. But the week prior, I had gone to ESPN because they were really heavily considering bringing me in to take over Sports Nation when Michelle Beadle first left.
Okay.
So I was down there and like went in, had a great audition. Like, when you have a shit audition, but this was like a good audition. Everyone,
I know about shit auditions.
Well, listen, we need to talk about some of your other auditions immediately after this because you shot some cool stuff. But yeah, I went in, had a great audition with ESPN. I thought for sure that was a thing that I was going to be doing. And then the next week, my agent was like, "Hey, WWE wants to bring you in." I was like, "Okay, cool." Went down, had like not a great audition with WWE by any stretch because I had to do I did commentary with gosh, what is his name? I can't think of his name right now. He's going to be not Josh Matthews. I can't think of his name right now because
is he still here?
I'm on Dayquil.
He
He left.
Fuck him. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Fuck him.
And
yeah,
she's on Dayquil.
So it's kind of like I have a little day stone happening right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, went and did my audition, did commentary with him, which was brutalious. It was quite heinous. And I was like, wait, what am I doing? What? I just felt like a lot of like pressure of figuring out exactly what doing commentary does, which I still haven't figured out. They gave me like a battery, and they're like, sell this to me. They put me through the gauntlet, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then lo and behold, here I am, and I got the job, you guys.
I guess you sold that battery then.
I guess I did. Yeah, but and then when I got the job, it was a few weeks after that, and I was still going back and forth from like Stanford to Toronto and figuring out the next steps of getting my visa, blah, 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 whatever. And I got an email with my new name change, which was Renee Sterling. And I was so stressed out about this. Yeah, it was Renee Sterling. Yeah. But I didn't know that my name was going to change. And that kind of threw me for a loop because, like, as you said, I was working in Canada before and, like, had been on TV before. So I felt very odd about changing my name. And then they let me give a few other name options and then ended up with Young.
It is a strange thing. I've never fully understood that, how the announcers basically get repackaged with a character name, for lack of a better description.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing, and I don't necessarily understand it.
Yeah, it is. It's super odd. And, like, I do get it in the way of, like, it's different now because a lot of people have got to keep their name. Like, I mean, Pete Rosenberg is on ESPN, and he's doing his thing, so he got to keep his name. And Kathy Kelly came in and kept her name. Like, we've hired a few other people that are down at NXT now that have all got to keep their name. So it seems like that might be dying off. But I feel like that kind of put me into the machine of WWE, you know? Just for all rights and whatnot for them to just own the name. But that was the biggest thing I had reservation about. I just felt like I didn't know that was going to be part of the deal, and it like threw me for a loop. And it was not met with good reception when I didn't want to change my name. But that was with somebody else who also no longer works here.
Well, fuck them too. So,
I just took a sip of my tea, and I'm sick, and you made me laugh, and I almost just blew snot all out my nose.
Oh, nice! Almost got a spit snot take.
That
is the rare double goal that I go for every episode. Yeah. So I will tell you that I kind of had those same reservations because I really just wanted to use Adam Copeland. When I came in, but this was the era of the character name. This was the era of, well, everybody had a character name, but I was looking at the end and going, okay, but if I could use my real name that whole time, it'd be really cool when I'm done. And it was shortly after I debuted on TV, and they said, no, you need a character name, that Kurt Angle came, Matt and Jeff Hardy came, and all these guys, and I'm like, well, come on, man, Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar. It's like, what? Yeah. Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's so funny
Mordecai.
how like some people
Michael McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny how like because actually John Dean and I were talking about that last night about just like how name changes happen and how like you meet somebody, like so many people still call him Mox because they knew him as John Moxley when they wrestled on the Indies, and how like everybody has so many different names. And we were like chatting about like the people that you call by their like their actual name or like the first name that they first had when they came in. It's a very bizarre thing.
It is a strange thing. And even like in terms of fan base and the audience, I know it's very confusing for them because I've heard some people get offended if they get called by their real name, yet I've always insisted on saying, hey, I'm Adam, nice to meet you. And then had people almost disappointed, like, no, you're Edge. It's like, well, I mean, I play a character named Edge, but I'm Adam.
Yes.
It's good to meet you. And so it's a weird thing, man. Wrestling's strange in that respect.
It's so strange because you would never you wouldn't meet an actor and him be like, hey, I'm Batman. You'd like, what?
You're not going to go up to Johnny Depp and go, oh, Edward, how are you? Like, he doesn't have scissors on his hands, and he's Johnny Depp.
Although I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I met Dustin Diamond once from Saved by the Bell, and I did call him Screech.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And almost
I guess some of them carry over.
It almost, yeah.
So,
it almost ended in a big argument, but that's a story for another day, Renee. This is about you.
Sorry?
I said,
oh my God! No, who cares? Who cares
almost got in a big argument with Screech, but that's a story for a different day.
What happened with Screech?
All right.
I would love to hear the Screech story.
I'll let you take it.
So we were at WrestleMania in Anaheim, whatever number that was, where we stole the show. That's all that matters. And
stole the show, got rich. The end.
Yeah, richer. So we're walking backstage early in the day, and like I'm a huge I love cheesy, corny like TV shows, right? So I was a huge Saved by the Bell fan.
Hallmark.
Still am. So I see Screech there. So I'm like, man. So walk up, I go, excuse me, Screech. Man, I'm such a big fan of you in the show. And he turns around and goes, yeah, okay, and turns back around and was kind of a dick, and he's backstage at our show. So Adam kind of goes,
rude.
Hey. So Adam, who's a bit of a hothead here,
what?
He goes, hey, mother effer. The guy turns around and goes, he's not trying to be a dick. He loves Saved by the Bell. He's a huge fan. And
He
Screech
loves
goes,
you, goddammit.
Yeah, but Screech goes, oh, man, I'm really sorry. I thought you were making fun of me. I was like, no, I wasn't.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So then we started talking to him, and we kind of hit it off, and had a pretty funny conversation, and that was that. That's my Screech story.
And you know what? Looking back, I understand why he reacted that way. Like, not again.
Yeah.
But
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time. I had something kind of similar like that happen to me with Jerry O'Connell, where I still have Jerry O'Connell heat. Which is super odd.
It's very random.
Yeah.
It's so random and so bizarre. So I used to have as my Twitter bio, it said like Canadian tuxedo aficionado, and I'm very afraid of Jerry O'Connell, which granted, of course, he does not know the context of this, which I will tell you now. The context of it is that he used to go on, or he still does, he'll go on the Wendy Williams show, and he just acts a fool. He's a wild man. He like does these characters, but the show that I was watching, he came out and had like a borderline offensive like Jerry curl happening. So I had tweeted about it and did like an Instagram story. I'm like, what is going on? What is Jerry O'Connell doing? But I meant this like out of love that it was ridiculous, but it was, it was on the Wendy Williams show, whatever. So I had this in my bio for a long time. And every now and then, like, somebody would be like, what's the deal with Jerry O'Connell? And, like, tag him in it. So this was actually, like, not even that long. It was only a couple months ago. And he, like, retweeted something that somebody said. He's like, I don't know. I've never even met Renee Young. I don't know why she would say that, especially in a time like this, meaning, like, the Me Too movement. So I'm like, oh, my God. Like, dude, no, that's not at all what I meant. So I, like, messaged him and apologized for having said that because I didn't want that to be misconstrued either. And then, I was like, anyways, hopefully get to meet you, whatever. And then he was backstage at a show in Anaheim, and I missed seeing him. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, dude, missing you. He's like, yeah, too bad. Anyways, real big fan. And just like, that was the end of the message. He real big fanned me. Yeah.
Real
which
big
means
fan.
He hates my guts.
And basically, I'm just going to blame it on Orange County.
Yeah.
It's an Anaheim thing.
Yeah.
It's an Anaheim thing.
Yeah.
It's a problem at the pond.
See, that's why we need you on the show.
Yeah.
Quad pod, problem at the pond. You're a quip machine.
We get Jerry on the horn, clear this whole situation up.
Great series.
Yeah.
Problems at the pond.
Yeah.
So great. I love random like run-ins like that just like throw you for a loop. So anyways, Jerry O'Connell, if you're listening, I'm sure you are. I love you and I'm sorry. It's fine.
Yeah, if we did the quad pod, we'd get Jerry and Screech on together, A group
Yes.
session, group therapy session. Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. We need to have a powwow.
Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely.
I like it. I see what you did there, Birdman. I see what you did. Yeah.
I'm always thinking. I'm an idea man. So.
This time of year brings us two things: graduation and, well, Father's Day, and the gifts that go along with them. Before you buy Dad another tie, a pair of socks, or that grad a balloon that will probably float away, ask yourself this: does my dad or grad like wings or sports, or better yet, both?
If the answer is yes, I mean, I'm a father and I would say yes to both of those, then get them the Buffalo Wild Wings gift card right now. If you purchase $30 worth or more in-store or online, they'll give you a $5 bonus to keep for yourself. That's a gift that just gives back. How generous of you, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings.
Beer.
Sports. Terms and conditions apply.
So you, so you got, you're mostly doing the well, you do everything. I mean, you really have your hand in a lot of pots. What was it that when you finally made the move to the U.S., was there any kind of adjustment for you, or did you get adjusted pretty quick, or because you weren't in Stanford very long, right?
No, so I was never in Stanford. I lived in New York. I didn't want to live in Stanford, if you know what I'm saying. So I lived in Queens, which was great. I lived in Astoria. It was the most lovely neighborhood. I had a really great apartment. Life in New York was awesome. But when I first moved, it was like a true kick in the dick. Because
I did not expect that one. Oh, okay.
So I moved, and I'm sure you guys know what it was like. It's like I had to get my Social Security number set up. The biggest problem for me in moving to New York, everything costs $1 million. And my credit from Canada did not carry over to the U.S. So for me to try to get an apartment, I had to pay an assload up front for everything because they thought I was some derelict or whatever. But I got a great spot. It was a nightmare. I had to pay 6 months in advance or whatever, while I had to rebuild all of my credit in the U.S. And even when I had to go get a cell phone, I just couldn't get anything done in those first few weeks of getting my social set up, getting my my visa, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, that stuff all made me crazy. But that seems like such a lifetime ago. But yeah, I remember my mom coming down and she was helping me get set up in New York. And she went for a walk to go get something. I'm I'm going to run into, it was T-Mobile at the time. Even T-Mobile wouldn't give me a phone. I mean, come on. Jeez. She comes to find me and I'm just crying on a bench, outside the subway. She's like, what happened? So that's when robbed me or struck me or something. I'm they just won't give me a phone.
Yeah, you have to end up buying one of those burner phones that you see them on Dateline every week.
Dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a nightmare. But once I got that stuff set up, I mean, I feel I've adjusted to being in the U.S. quite a bit, but I do miss a lot of stuff from Canada. I feel I talk about it a lot, about how much I miss Canada, that people that are listening to this are probably whatever, move back then, shut up. But Canada's great. I love it.
I did this signing a few weeks ago in Pittsburgh, and these really cool Canadian guys came down, and they brought me all kinds of ketchup chips and dill pickle chips and O. Henry's and Aero bars and every little Canadian hickory sticks. Oh my god! I had this whole.
I literally just swept hickory sticks up off my floor this morning because we just got back from Montreal, so I brought a bunch of crap back with me.
Man, so I have a cabinet full of Canadian goodies now, thanks to these guys. But man, yeah, it's. When I think about that's what makes me miss it more when I think about the snacks I used to get in my lunch bag.
Me
when I was a
too.
kid.
I mean, listen, my family's great, but the snacks.
Yeah, that's what it's
snacks are what I miss.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is how expensive it is to order off of Amazon.
Right.
If you try to order it, it's whatever, it's fine, but it's still they really get you.
They gouge you. They gouge you. They know us Canadians. We're trying to get our hickory sticks. We're jonesing. We're going through the DTs for our hickory sticks, and they know they got us by the short hairs.
Yeah.
They do.
There's somebody who said for that.
That one time bring me, I made Bobby Roode. I'm like, can you just next week, can you please just bring me some hickory sticks? He's like, okay, weirdo. It made my day. I was so happy about it. I thought in catering, like some glutton. It was awesome.
Yeah. Whenever I go back to Canada, my fingers are stained red from eating too many ketchup chips. You know, you get that stain
Might
on
get
there.
worse.
Yeah.
They don't have zesty Doritos down here, so zesty Doritos are like,
man.
Yeah, the damage of the snacks. Why isn't it weird that the snacks are so much better in Canada? I feel like it would be the other way around. No offense,
you would
America.
think it would. You'd think if any place was going to, have the market cornered on snacks, it'd be the United States.
Yeah.
No,
we
truly,
have all-dressed chips at my grocery store at home, so that makes me very excited. But my problem is that the novelty has not yet worn off.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, there's all-dressed chips. Let's buy them. I need to not do that.
Got to temper it.
Which is the same with Clamato because, listen, I like a good Caesar. Screw the Bloody Mary. Give me a Caesar.
Right? Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah, totally. I agree. If you're going to do it, do it. All right. So Canadian snacks, we all miss those.
Yeah.
We're agreed on that.
We do.
So now New York, and now Vegas.
Yeah, I live in Las Vegas now. What's the deal with that?
That's a huge fucking change. Like,
yeah,
that's like we're talking Toronto, New York. Okay, yeah, but Vegas. So how's that treating you?
It's okay. It is weird. So I will say that has been, so I've always kind of thought of myself as someone just I can live wherever and I can just make do and everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. But now that I've been in Vegas, I've lived there for about 3 years. And last summer, I finally said to John/Dean, I was like, listen, I can't do summers here anymore. I'm not cut out for this. It is like living on Mars. It is so hot there. It's just a different lifestyle. I'm used to being in the city. I like taking the subway. I like walking places. I like to just kind of tinker around. And you can't really do that in Vegas. So you kind of have to have a destination of where you're going, what you're
spread
doing.
Out. You feel like you're living on the surface of the sun, right? It's
and
then
it's just like strip malls in sunlight.
Yeah.
It's
strip malls in sunlight. That's another good, some kind of title. Yeah.
I cannot get in my car without a flurry of curse words because everything's burning hot. Yeah. I have to go out and do the reverse Canadian car start. To, normally you got to start your car to heat it up. I have to do the opposite there. And we were dummies that we didn't realize. We're like, man, nobody hangs out outside. Or do our neighbors even live here? But everybody parks their car in their garage. Right. And we didn't do that. We turned our garage into a gym. So our cars are always so hot.
Yeah, when I lived in Florida, it was the same thing. I tempered it with the fact that it's I'm never there. I'm basically just there to do laundry and then pay bills and try and save money, because of the no state tax and all of that. But man, it's just too hot. And being Canadian, I think just in our blood for the rest of our lives, the temperate climate works better.
Yes, I need it, and my bulldog needs it. He's not cut out for it either.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Oh, my God. We're John's crazy, and he'll go, it'll be 120 degrees outside, and he goes for a bike ride in the desert. There's times that I'm this is going to be 127 hours, and I'm going to have to find you a place somewhere.
He's James Franco next thing you know, and just on his arm.
He's not coming back. Yeah.
It's wild.
He is a little crazy. I will say that.
He is.
In a good way, though. In a good way. And it's funny because the first time I ever met him, and I was like, I don't know about this guy, man. He's a little weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then I would just kind of watch him and see what he did. And I was like, this guy's a little off. There's something about him. And then we wrestled a couple times, and we got along really great. We had some good chemistry in the ring. We had some good matches, and we kind of hit it off. And we ended up just kind of somehow we'd end up hanging out and having a couple drinks sometimes, and I'm like, this guy's really funny, actually. When you get to know him, he's a really funny dude, and I really like him. I really came to like having conversations with him, and just because he's different and he's funny, and I don't know, I just like talking to him a lot. He's just a really funny guy. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that obviously my perception of him is so much different from other people's, but I get it. I get where people are coming from because some people are like, what do you guys
what do you guys talk about? What do you guys do? How did you guys even start dating? Because he keeps to himself a lot. But yeah, he's an interesting dude, but he has so many other layers to him.
Yeah.
That he's probably like, don't tell people I'm a nice guy.
Sure, we won't spoil any.
Yeah.
We'll let him keep his layers here.
Yeah. Yeah. We're into spoiler alerts here.
No
see.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's terrible. What a mean
Actually,
guy.
I hate him. I don't even know how you ended up with this guy. Yeah.
I'm blinking twice. Save me.
Well, he mountain bikes and he dropped a Pearl Jam reference on Raw, so he's good with me.
What was the Pearl Jam reference he dropped?
With Elias. It was awesome. Somebody tweeted it to me because I didn't see the show that night. I was like, okay, he's probably not my favorite wrestler. So he goes up to Elias. He goes, hey, man, know any Pearl Jam? And that was perfect.
He does get some one-liners. He is like shockingly funny. So yeah, he always is like, I'm funnier than you. Too bad, whatever. I'm like, what the hell, man? But yeah, he gets some good one-liners in there. I'll give him some every now and then.
Yeah.
Wait, Ed, you live in or Adam? Sorry. You're
Again,
in
back to
right?
the having to say Dean/John, Adam/Edge, Jay/Christian, Renee. But yeah, Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, Asheville, and it's amazing there, right?
I think so. It's right up my alley, but my alley involves, a lot of mountain biking and kayaking and hiking and good food and good music and good galleries and
sounds great.
Just weird, cool people. Yeah.
You do know that Beth put out an offer to me for John and I to come and stay with you. So get ready for that.
Hey, we got an open house policy. We got a nice big old log bed over the apartment over the garage, so you don't even have to come and hear kids at 6:00 in the morning. So you guys can do your own thing. You can sleep till noon if you want. We have hurricane shutters, so it'll be like a cave in there. Yeah.
Oh, hell yes. Mm-hmm. Hell yes. Yeah, that kind of weather is like more my speed. I need some plants. We're out in Birmingham right now, and it's pretty nice out here.
Yeah, it's a great town, huh?
It is.
Jay's feeling
it is, shockingly.
No, Birmingham, Alabama. I'm saying it's a nice town.
Birmingham, Alabama, really?
They're John's got a little rehab to do.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. See, the only thing I relate Birmingham to is surgery. Yeah. So I don't like it. It's like, I'm going to Birmingham because I got surgery.
And I also relate it to the song Birmingham by Amanda Marshall.
Whoa.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I know that song.
Right? There's a Canadian reference right there.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just blew your mind.
Wait, Amanda Marshall's Canadian, is she?
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she
great
did.
hair.
She's a good singer, too.
Great hair. She was a real babe. Like, super hot.
Everybody go download that.
Now?
Birmingham on iTunes or wherever you get your music.
Amanda Marshall's going to, make...
She had kind of a raspy voice.
Yeah.
Man, she had a great voice.
She's going to make 4 cents of royalties this
great.
month, and she's going to search you out now. Thanks for that 4 cents.
Yeah. Thanks for that CanCon. Really appreciate it.
So speaking of Amanda Marshall...
Amanda Marshall is great.
So you obviously are a mainstay. You kind of steer the ship as far as the pre-shows for the pay-per-views and things like that, the big events. But also the Talking Smack. You're still you're still pushing for the Talking Smack. You like the Talking Smack, and I did a couple of pre-show panels with you, and you haven't invited me back. So I guess that means I sucked. So
I wish that I made those decisions. I wish that I could tailor the panels. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
No offense. I mean, I love everybody on them now, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
But so with the Talking Smack thing, you're still pining for it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so when we started doing Talking Smack, I mean, it was such a cool thing right off the bat, and working with Brian was and that's really how I like to work.
Right.
I like that sort of sense of discovery of what are we going to do, what's going to happen, and legitimately not knowing. It's so fun being able to work in that atmosphere, and it really was like that when we first started doing the show. And obviously, I've never really worked with Brian, and he was such a great co-host. And he was also like just, in the state of mind of just like, whatever, I'm going to do whatever I want, say whatever I want, which lent to the show being so successful, I think. Right. But yeah, I was really bummed when that show got canceled, and Unfiltered got canceled. So guys, we got to get this quad pod. I need something to do.
We got canceled too, but we're like a cockroach. You never fully kill us. You know? So
no.
Don't worry. We're
they
Canadian cockroaches, all three
Maybe
of
they'll
us.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
I was actually saying that now that Paige is in the GM role, I would love to bring back Talking Smack with her and I hosting it.
Well, yeah, because she would bring that element of who knows where it's going to go.
Who knows? Totally. And her and I, with her even saying, wanting to do the podcast together, her and I have always talked about being able to do something together, whatever that may be, whether it's like a Talking Smack or like a different network show. We've always kind of bounced ideas off of each other to do something like that. So, yeah, I think something like a Talking Smack would be like a perfect platform for the two of us to really let loose.
Well, I think what's funny is that you guys are both super funny and witty and kind of have no filter, which is
hence Unfiltered, Birdman.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
yeah.
I think that lends itself to something very entertaining. So I think you guys would do great.
I think it makes Kevin Dunn very nervous. He's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I want to go back to something you said. You said sense of discovery. So, going back to taking acting classes, Second City, to, kind of, I've always said, what we do and what you do, and it's on the entertainment tree, but it's different branches. So in terms of acting and the sense of discovery that you can get with a character and with different actors and performers, do you feel like this itches that scratch for you enough?
No.
Okay. No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, and I think that's always been something that has been a bit of a struggle in that transition for me. And I think when I got into wanting to host, it was when I started hosting, I really didn't think that I was letting go of doing the acting and doing those performances or doing comedy or whatever it was going to be. But I've always just been a huge film buff. So that's always really what I've wanted to do. But my career's obviously taken me in other paths from that. Really the most I get from doing stuff like that is if I have a confrontational backstage segment or something, which is 2 seconds. It's not really anything. And for the most part, I can get away with reacting a lot more than some other people might be able to. So I get a little bit, but no, there's so much more that I want to do and that I want to suss out, because I've always felt like I've kind of shortchanged myself a little bit by not being able to explore that. Sorry, I kind of deviated off of that. But yeah, when I started hosting, it's I wanted to do a Chelsea Handler thing, or I wanted to be Johnny Carson or Jimmy Fallon. I wanted to get to, have a bigger platform and have fun and make a cool show and create content. And even that is something that's kind of been taken away from me, is being able to have a bit more of a collaborative situation as far as coming up with different shows and working on stuff, because it's my role now is not really like that. But when I get to do kickoff shows and stuff, there's a little more leeway, but it was a really big I had to grow and learn a lot in that role, because all of a sudden I had to become a little more serious, and I couldn't really have that much personality for a while. Yeah. And that was by design. And that was always a really tough pill for me to swallow.
Well, and it's an interesting challenge actually too. It's okay, well, how do I pull back my personality to even when we talked about announcing there briefly before, I remember anytime I did, announcing, I was still an on-air talent. So I was still a wrestler. Yeah. So I found it easy only because my job was to put myself and my opponent over. And I didn't have to worry about anything else, whereas an announcer's job is to not be the focal point, to not be the center of attention, to center it all on the story and what's happening between the people in the it's a tough gig, and that's a part of it is
and
really pulling back your own personality.
Get a little bit man, I still want to do my thing, and you kind of want to be a little self-serving at times. in that regard. That you still have like that performance part that you want to have that showmanship.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why. I just that intrigued me. I figured I'd ask you that.
I had talked to Beth about that when Beth was coming in to do commentary for the Mixed Match Challenge, and her and I had kind of like shot the shit about it a little bit. And I was like, yeah, like I feel like when you're a WWE superstar and you step in to do commentary, yeah, you're in character. So you can be a heel, or you can be you can play around in that realm a lot more. Where yeah, when you're a commentator, you really do have to think about it a lot more. And so when I did commentary for a little bit, I was doing it down at NXT, but I've never done commentary like with Vince in your ear, and that would be an entirely different ballgame, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, it was like I said to you earlier when you came on to do the Edge and Christian show earlier this week. Everybody was raving after you left of how like good you were and how funny you were and how subtle you were
nice.
and your delivery and how natural you were. So yeah, I mean, it lends to what Adam was just saying about, you obviously have the chops to do really whatever you want because you're very, very talented.
Thank you. That means so much. And I feel like I'm at like sort of an interesting spot in my career where like I'm 32. I'm still young-ish, but I'm not young. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So it's like finding those times to take those risks to do the things I really want to do. And it's really shocking to me how much being a TV host has pigeonholed me into not being able to do those other things that I want to do, because you're like, oh, you're a host, you don't do that. And I don't think that's true. And I feel like the reason I've been successful at TV hosting is because I'm good at the other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been like an odd pigeonhole of trying to be like, guys, let me in. Come on. Let me go and like just put myself on tape for something or audition for something. And I would love to get to do some more of that.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, thankfully, I think once people have the knowledge, because I didn't know, that you did all of that beforehand in terms of training and things like that. But I think now, once that knowledge gets put out there, it seems like you can have your hands dipped into a lot of different things now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I don't see why not. It's like, yeah, I feel like the mediums of like film, television, radio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like there's so many different ways for content to be made right now, too, that I think there are a lot more outlets to try to get some stuff done.
Yeah, I
so
think so, too.
Hopefully, I keep trying to bark up those trees. So, I mean, not like aggressively, but it's definitely something that I think about a lot.
Yeah, well, keep barking.
Yeah, bark.
I'm going to bark.
Away. Just keep on barking.
I'm going to bark. Hey,
Just
what
keep
was
barking,
what was the Canadian? What was the show you told me that you did in Canada? I can't remember what it was.
Who, me or Jay?
Jay.
The what did I do now? The show?
What was the TV show you did in Canada?
I did a show called Murdoch Mysteries. That's on CBC.
Murdoch Mysteries. That's what it is.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. I loved it because it was period, right? It was
it
was set in 1905, so it got to be something completely different.
Lunchbox Larry? What was your name?
Well, that was the name I gave myself.
Oh.
But I was my character name was Leonard Stoker, and
okay.
Yeah, but it was fun, man, because you got to speak in really proper language and
cool.
Be all dressed up and like the set looked amazing, looked exactly like how you would envision 1905 looking. So it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah.
Where did you film that? Toronto?
Yeah, we filmed it in Toronto. They have a whole studio specifically for that show, which was really cool. Like the whole all the outdoor, the street scenes. They have a whole outdoor set built. It was really awesome.
That's so great.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Adam, are you done with Vikings?
No, head back. We're basically cramming in ENC in between. Right now we're cramming it in like a Subway sandwich, like Tommy Dreamer at lunch. Tommy's sitting beside me. That's why I said that. So we're getting this done, and then I head back there in July. So
wow.
That's July.
Crazy.
Till
you guys both got like pretty great gigs coming out of WWE.
Happy accidents, though. We've talked probably a lot on this show, but my retirement speech was seen by an executive producer that was on Haven, and they contacted WWE because they wanted a wrestling tie-in because SmackDown led into Haven. Hey, can we get this guy? He just retired, and 42 episodes later, it's like, oh, I guess I'm an actor now. Okay, how's this work? And and then it just kind of snowballed from there. But it's again, because wrestling was gone, it was like, okay, so well now what? And I had no idea. And it still fills that creative or keeps that creative river flowing for me, which is cool,
So now would you say you consider yourself a wrestler or an actor?
Actor. I had to. I really had to mentally make that switch because I kept saying, well, I'm being self-deprecating about it. And a
Canadian being self-deprecating?
Right?
No.
Go figure.
Sorry, guys, just going to pop in here real quick and do this scene. Not a big deal.
Well, technically, even the stuff we're doing now with WWE is technically acting. With the
100%. Yeah. That's why I had so much fun popping in there with you guys. It was so fun to get to do that little bit of a scene. As soon as I left, I was like, man, I wish you were doing more.
Well, and the thing was, you left too, and we're like, oh man, between you and Becky, who also just came in and puts on the wig and right into it, and we're like, they get
Becky's
our humor.
Amazing. Yeah, she's great.
So it could have been a quad on this show too.
Yeah, have your agent get in contact with us. We'll get back to you.
Perfect.
Yeah, but we probably should let you go. Day off. You're sick.
Right.
You have
you're in Birmingham on Dayquil. Who knows where that ends up.
Yeah.
Things are weird over here. Yeah. I'm going to go back to brushing my dog's teeth. It's fine.
So we need to talk more about the Quad Pod and the Pecker podcast, and we'll get that rolling. And just be Canadians invading the U.S. Airspace.
Damn right.
That's what we're going to do.
Yep. I mean, Paige gets in on that with the Commonwealth.
Yeah, the whole Commonwealth deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But,
well,
anyways,
thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was great. So a lot of fun, and we'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we'll get you back on the show and do some more cool stuff.
Definitely.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
bye,
buddy. Go brush some teeth.
Bye. Bye.
Enjoy your hickory sticks.
They're gone.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay, bye.
See you, Renee. All right, Birdman. That was fun.
That was so much. She's so cool. She just, like you said, she's the kind of person you can just hang out and have a beer with, laugh. She's super funny and witty, and I always like talking to her and hanging out with her, and just a cool person. She's super talented, and she really is the type of person that can morph into any form of entertainment and do well in it because she's that talented.
Yeah, it kind of feels like an untapped resource that I think WWE could use going forward, even in terms of just content for the network, let alone whatever outside interest she might aspirations she might have too, because it's possible to balance it all now.
Yeah,
it really is. So it was good to catch up with her. Good to catch up on our Canadianness.
Yeah.
For
always
all of
good.
You other folks that were completely clueless, we're sorry. It's once again very Canadian. I just apologize for being Canadian.
Yeah. So I won't apologize. Fuck you, I'm Canadian.
yeah, but you're half American.
These fucking marks will listen to anything we say.
But see, you're
it.
That's the American in you.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Right.
I just said sorry. That
you're such a dichotomy.
Oh my God!
Juxtaposition inside your soul.
Oh man,
you don't even understand what I said just there.
No, I don't. You're trying to confuse me.
Yeah. So as we speak, Tommy
is here.
Is sitting beside us and looking at me so angrily because I just said that, and he's never actually sat beside us while we said it on the podcast. Right. So he's a little upset with me right now.
Yeah,
we're filming content for the E&C show that totally reeks of awesomeness season 2.
Yeah, well, we'll fucking probably cut this part out because he's already going to be in Tales from the Indies on the start of the show. So we're working backwards.
Oh, there we go.
So we fucking do it.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we should go. We're busy.
Yeah,
fucking busy.
Got stuff to do.
All right. Next week, losers. We'll see you then. Here we go.